Hey guys, what's up? This is Stock Retail coming back. If you maybe have seen by now, or if you haven't, there was an announcement on Antara kind of doing another filing on their ape shares. And if you recall, they had a certain amount that was unlocked. I talked about that in another video, so we'll kind of refresh that today. I won't go too deep on some of the details. I'll just kind of speak on these as though I've covered them before because I have. So if you want to fact check this, I would say everything I'm going to share is from SEC filings. You can go to the SEC Edgar site. So I often say on this channel, no trust me, bros. Don't trust me. Go do your own DD. Go check. But everything I'm going to reference, whether here that I'll show you on slides or kind of I'll reference from maybe some other videos and DD I've done, you can go check all of these numbers I'm going to show you on the SEC Edgar site. And you can kind of see what I want to cover today. Actually, before I do, so I mentioned recently in a video I'd love to get back to just talking about AMC's business and not all these filings and sort of actions. But this was big news, and I have no doubt that there will be some trolls who try to spread negative spin on this. And I'm going to share with you whether you want to call it spin or whether you actually want to just potentially you'll just agree with me actually that there's a big silver lining in the filing we saw today, and frankly, it's got me a little bit jazzed. So I want to share why, but also to kind of level that with I don't know, just some even-handedness here. So I'll share that. But I did just I shared that I was going to do those business updates. I just want to let you all know I did work on kind of updating my forecast today. Do have that and got some things I'm real excited for in the kind of the coming quarters and some big shifts in when I believe some of the bigger revenues are coming. I'm excited to share that, but looked at numbers all day and my eyes got a little buggy, and I think that'll be either later today or maybe tomorrow. We've got some family plans tonight, so may not get to that today. But this Antara stuff is right in front of us, and as always, I really hate FUD, so I want us to have facts. Let's deal with facts, not FUD. Even if the facts feel negative, that ends up fine, but I want you dealing with facts. So let's go through this without further ado. One of the big things you might remember in Antara's filings and in Adam's, the AMC filings, was this unlock thing. And speaking of FUD, here's, you saw some accounts saying, oh my gosh, Antara is selling all their shares. Well, that's complete crap, to be honest, because they bought 258 million shares. If you remember in another video I did, or if you've been reading the filings, only 26 million got unlocked. They bought 258, let's round up to 260. So if I, with rounding, say they unlocked 26 million, well, that's 10%. They only unlocked 10% of their shares. They're locked into holding the other 90% of their shares. Sometimes news is just all in the headline, right? If I come to you and I say, hey, Antara locked themselves into 90% of their shares, then you're like, wow, they're really hodling. But if I come to you and, oh my God, they're unlocked, they're selling, oh, the sky's falling, you see how the spin gets created and how trolls like to play on your emotions. It's why I always encourage you, learn how to do DD, go check this stuff. Always check for context. I like talking about things in context, and that way I don't get spun around in circles. So the context here, 10% of their shares got unlocked. But let's check something else out now based on today's filing that gets real interesting to me. So if they had 258 million, I'm showing you a screenshot here at the top from today's filing. Again, you can check this on the SEC Edgar site. Just look up AMC and look for all their filings. It's the most recent one. Antara now owns 232 million. Well, what's 258 minus 26? 232. So if they had 26 million shares unlocked, they started at 258, they're sitting now at 232. You know where my brain jumps. Are they done? They may be done selling, guys. For now, right? They're only locked till, I believe, after the vote. So basically, let's call it till 3:15. Well, that's a month from now. So I'm going to show you in a minute the price action on APE for the last few days and why, it was already my belief that Antara was selling. I could just see it in the volume candles. But what if they're now done? Which, I mean, they are. They're locked in, right? They unlocked 26 million. I'm showing you the basic math from their filings that they have now sold those 26. So let's actually go ahead and look at this price action and think about what that could mean. Actually, sorry, before I do, just showing you a little more detail from the filing today. You can kind of see that the dates on here is 13th, 14th, 15th show up, right? So no surprise. on that, but you can go see those details. So I've just pulled up. These are the 1 hour candles from Webull. I've told you before, but maybe if you're new to my channel, I don't use Webull as my broker. They are a pay for order flow broker, is my understanding. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that. And I don't use them for like any advanced charting or anything like that. You know, if I'm sort of getting into the weeds and I want to really do my own charts, I use my own broker and all that. But you know, they're quick for me to pull up, and sometimes I just, if I'm doing quick sort of crayon level drawings, which this is, you can see these three like curvy green lines. That's my own just quick scribble on the screen. These are the last 3 days, including today, of price action. Now remember, I just told you it's these last 3 days, including today, that Antara has been selling their 26 million. But now, if they're done, they're locked in for, you know, at least another month. Well, kind of look at what happened. So you can see Ape was kind of running, and then Antara's probably selling some. And you could sort of see it in the volume candles that were happening. Like here's one, for example, if you're looking, I'm kind of circling this on the screen. That's a 1 hour candle, but I mean, you can see how it was heavy volume. And so same thing, like Ape's running. Oh, now I think Antara's selling. And then same thing today. But first off, obviously, if I was to draw a line through all of this, you can see an upward trend, right? And you know, advanced charters will see a whole lot more than what I'm saying here. So in no way am I trying to do any technical analysis here. I'm just doing sort of eyeball level charting. Generally, Ape feels like it's kind of been, you know, having this upward pressure, this kind of almost wanting to go up, while Antara has been dealing with their 26 million shares that are locked. I want to share a couple more points of view real quick on the Antara shares that I think I've shared on Twitter in general, and I know I've shared privately with a couple people. You know, there's a basic wisdom in trading that, let's say you take a position and you get a runner. Well, there are a lot of people who say you sort of scale out. And so maybe you sell a piece of your position to let the rest run. And if you've sort of locked in profits, they're not just on paper, now they're in your pocket, you can be a lot more comfortable being a lot more sort of aggressive in hodling the rest of your position. That's just a normal trading thing. So this is me completely making this up. I've not seen anything documented about Antara's sort of strategy here, but if I just sort of logic to myself, they bought almost 260 million shares. They only unlocked 10% of those. Those 10%, they've sold it at a pretty hefty profit. Like, no need for us to pretend they didn't. But now that's profit they've locked in. They're locked in to the rest of their shares for at least a month. And, you know, let's see what they want to do with that after the conversion and all of that. But, you know, they now roll into the conversion with those shares. So if you were to project out this action of Ape, and I'm you know, no hopium here. I'm not making a prediction. I'm not saying that's happening, but I am saying, okay, I just look at this chart and I think, well, there's a chance Ape still wants to move up. And now if it's doing that without Antara selling anymore and they're locked in, could be really interesting price action, let's say over this next month for Ape. So no idea, no predictions here. I've said for 2 years, no dates, no prices. I don't do that. But I just wanted to share with you at least so that you knew before you get trolled on, look at this filing, Antara's been selling, whatever. Again, 2 things I'm focused on. They still hold 90% of their shares. Those 90% are now locked in. And the 26 million that they could sell, I think they're done. So, I don't know. Ape could be pretty interesting the next few days. Meantime, just as promised, very soon I will share those business updates. Really what I've done is just look through, you know, I've shown in other videos where you can go see what movies are coming out, what are the dates that are coming out, all of that. There were some big movements, a couple movies that, let's say, pushed out a little farther, but they're still in this year. So that kind of shifts where the revenue falls in kind of which quarter. Some came in farther. And there's actually one fairly big surprise that I want to share. And I know that might sound like I'm pumping. I'm not pumping my station. In fact, actually, I hope it's pretty obvious. I have never once said like and subscribe. Like, I don't do that. I am very excited to share information. I've been in this journey for 2 years. I feel like I see and know some things, and I hope to educate. The whole point of this channel is I'm personally sick of FUD. I'm sick of people being lied to. And because I have some education, some business background, and then just some experience in the AMC journey, that's why I started getting a lot more vocal and active here. But I've also told if any of you are new to me, I've told people go look at my receipts on Twitter. You can see there's nothing new here. I'm just now basically stream of consciousness rambling into a microphone on YouTube. But this is just basically stuff I've been tweet storming for 2 years. So I will do that business update soon. I can tell you I'm super excited for how the rest of the year is shaping up. I mean, Ant-Man's coming out tonight. I already bought my tickets for Sunday. I know Adam is at Ant-Man tonight in Charlotte. In fact, I personally know, well, I guess I Twitter know an ape who, we've been probably chatting back and forth for a year and a half, 2 years. I know an ape who's going to that and happens to be someone who really loves movies. So if you end up listening to this, I think you know who you are. Have a great time. Excited to see all the tweets and videos and whatever from Adam tonight. Excited to track the results of Ant-Man and to kind of get into phase 5 of Marvel. Good stuff happening. Let's go.